Where'd you find this?
Shut your
Come on now, dog.
I want me some glory hole.
Huh? What?
LeBron James.
Acknowledge me.
Emotional damage.
I got a big amount.
Psych.
Bruh.
What's up, everybody? What's up? Let me make sure everything is looking good, sounding good, everything looks good, sounds good. What's up, everybody? It's your boy TGK back with another Midnight Mavness. We are live. We got a special guest today. We have not talked in a long time, you know? He has gone on and done different content in the YouTube space. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about everything going on with the Mavericks, but we'll also finally have our, how would I say, our opportunity to discuss certain things that we have not had an opportunity to discuss in front of everybody here. So again, I appreciate everybody being here. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff, man. Midnight Mavness, we back. You already know it's the late night show where anything and everything is, how would I say, available to talk about. Talk about anything and everything. They ain't no sponsors. They ain't no, I don't know any other words I can think of, but there ain't nothing in the way telling us what we can't say. We can talk about anything here. You could talk about anything in the comments. Hopefully the mods will protect us from anything that says anything crazy. Other than that, let's get this show started. Let's go talk to Big J. What's up, Big J?
What's going on, sir?
Hey, like the intro, man. Was that a pretty good intro?
Yeah, it was good intro. Good intro.
You know, man. You know, they say TGK fell off, but honestly, I feel like I'm just getting started, you know? But this is how it goes. So, I'm glad you're here, brother. I'm glad you're here. I know you've been a geek recently. You want to talk about that, the endeavor over there on Cuz We Geek, you know?
Oh, you know, dude, like I have multiple interests. Everybody knows I love basketball, love the Mavericks. But I mean, I'm into all kind of stuff, you know? So one of the things, Rail from Cap and Crown used to be We Talk Mavs. Asked me one day, we actually were having a discussion on one of the members only, and somebody brought up something Marvel and didn't know what they were talking about. And so we had a whole discussion where I went in depth on the history of Ironheart and some other stuff, and they were like, oh, they didn't know I knew. So then they were like, hey, we got this show. Can you be on it? I'm like, hey, you know, whatever.
Wow,
So
yeah.
I started getting in, and I think I've been on it for about 3-4 months now.
Nice. Hell yeah, that's what's up, man. You know, I didn't even know that you were that much into the comic space and as knowledgeable as that. So I've been enjoying the shows, man. I've been tuning in, locking in, you know. But you know, now we're here. I see we got the same kind of setup, you know.
Hey,
The
these
headset
are
like we're coordinators and stuff, you know.
hey, I got these Sennheisers, so you know, I just as long as you can hear me, that's all that counts.
Yeah. It's the same here, man. But would you be the offensive coordinator or a defensive coordinator? What would you hang your hat on?
Are we talking about football or basketball?
Let's go with basketball since it's a basketball show.
No, basketball. I probably do more defense because if you've been to the game with me before, you know I'm always yelling about people getting back, people cutting off people because
Mm-hmm.
that's one thing I hate layup lines, and I'm like, when you see somebody running, just get in front, stop them, cut them off, make them charge you or something. I don't like this way you just lay them and let them run right by you. That don't make
Yeah.
sense to me.
Yeah. I think I would be I guess I'll be the offensive coordinator. I mean, football, if we're talking football, ain't nobody better at me in offensive coordinating. Anyway, man. Well, I'm glad we got that out the way, brother. I hope you've been having a better summer than most of us. But we're right around the corner from Dallas Mavericks regular season. But before we get into that, we do got a preseason coming up. And with the preseason, you'll be there?
Yeah, it's on Monday.
Yeah, I think it's in, where's it at?
Fort Worth,
Fort Worth.
Arena.
Dickies Arena against the Oklahoma City Thunder. You know, with this upcoming game, let's start it there. Let's talk about this. I got other things we want to talk about. Definitely want to talk about Mark Cuban. You know, we kind of talked about this before earlier in the week. We're going to talk about that. But definitely let's start it off with talking about the preseason matchup, October 6th at 7:30 p.m. on a Monday here in Fort Worth at the Dickies Arena. That is going to be a really unique game. The fact that I can't recall Mavericks game ever being played there before. But what do you anticipate, or what do you think it's going to look like on Monday?
I look at preseason basketball like I look at preseason football, and I'm not a huge football person, but I mean, people try and read so much like the game that happened last night with the Lakers. People are like, "Oh, the Lakers are trash." I'm like, "Well, LeBron and Luka didn't play."
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they looked at the fact that I think what's his name, Aiden had 1 point and 4 turnovers, and you know, ready to and I'm like, once again, that doesn't mean anything because that's not what they're going. That's not the real offense. That's not how they're going to play. You really can't tell anything from that.
Yeah.
So my thing is, I just want to see positive trends. The same thing like in summer league. I didn't expect summer league to be representative of what's going to happen every night. I want to see, you know, what the team looks like and what the tendencies are going to look like, and then that'll let me know what everything else is going to be. I mean, I don't think OKC is going to come out there and try and rip their neck off because once again, I'm like, to me, if I'm the Mavs, I would go try and bully them from the get and show them because people talk about the front court they got with Chet and Hardenstein, but if AD puts one elbow in Chet's chest, it's over. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that dude weighs like he's 7'2", 7'3", weighs about 150 pounds. So
yeah. Look, hopefully it doesn't dislocate AD's shoulder.
but we'll get Gafford to put an elbow. You know, he can't play. So no, we'll get somebody. We'll get PJ to do it.
We'll get PJ.
You know?
Yeah, PJ. I think PJ.
Najee will do it for sure.
Najee. But the thing is, do you anticipate all the Maverick starters playing this upcoming game? Because they got a really unique preseason schedule, oddly enough. They got the Thunder, right? Let me pull up the other games. So they got the Thunder on Monday, then they got the Hornets here in Dallas, then they got the Jazz, and then they ended off with the Lakers. So which game would be the dress rehearsal in your estimation?
I think we may get the starters for maybe the first quarter just because they playing in DFW. They'll probably play the first quarter, and then you're gonna see a lot of DSJ. I think you'll see a lot of Miles Kelly, some Nimhart, the guys that they want to maybe some Musa Cisse. You know, the guys that they want to see because they got that third spot. Well, like I said, Miles Kelly has a spot, and so does Nimhart. But I'm talking about like Cisse and I think what's his face, Cisse and Sharp are battling for that third two-way contract. And so I think that's what we're going to be looking at to see who's going to get the third two-way contract, or if it's going to be somebody else from another team. But you know, that's going to and don't read too much into if you see Sharp do stuff because I know Mavs fans love to overreact to that dude just because he's 7'5". I watched him play the entire last season in the G League. I try to tell people early on. I try to tell people later. He's not that good. He's slow foot. He's 7'5", and I know you can't teach height, but with him, I don't think you could teach height because he likes to run out and try and block threes at 7'5", and I'm like, come on, man. And it leaves the paint wide open. Now he had a game where he had like 8 blocks in one game, but
Yeah.
like I said, he goes chasing blocks, and he still hasn't learned the discipline of stay home, shut the paint down. Like I said, he's running around, like I said, on 3-point line trying to guard people. So I don't want to see that. I want to see somebody patrolling the paint, being a menace, rebounding, and then I want to see the team hustling. I want to see if DSJ can shoot. You know what I mean? So all the people all get the warm fuzzies because DSJ was here before, and let's put him. But we need shooting, and we need spacing, and we need someone who could create offense. I think he's a good defender, but we don't need more good defenders. We've got a ton of defenders, and people worry about, um, what's his name, D'Lo and Clay defensive. But I'm like, if you got 80, if you got Gafford, if you got Lively, if you've got Cooper behind those dudes, I don't think I don't think it's gonna be that serious. No, yeah, they may get burned. They could, but I don't think it's gonna be catastrophic. Oh,
You mentioned the whole 3-point aspect. I don't know if you saw that report that came out where Jason Kidd had put Cooper Flag at the 2, and I had tweeted like, this makes a lot of sense, but I was kind of like half trolling, half actually thinking this actually makes sense. And the reason I'll say this, the reason I think the 3-point avenue or aspect of this team is a little overrated right now, is solely because of the sheer size this team has. You could literally start Cooper at the 1, and it could be Najee, PJ, AD, and Gafford, and you could just have this massive lineup. And people, and bear with me, Big J, before you be like, think of it from this perspective. What other team is going to be able to combat that kind of lineup, regardless of the spacing? I get all that. You could play the 5 out, and if they want to leave PJ open, they want to leave Flag open, they want to leave Najee open, then by all means, I'll take an open 3-pointer with them. But if you do a pick and roll with Cooper Flag with someone else's 1, say a Shea, and then say it's AD doing the pick, and then Shea has to guard AD, it just creates mismatches, and they're going to immediately double and just open it up. So, and I'm not saying that that's going to happen, but I am saying that the Mavericks, I don't think they have to put so much focus into this whole 3-point dilemma that they have, because it is a dilemma, because the amount of mismatches they could create and develop and force doubles is going to make the offense even easier. That I think efficiency overrides a 3-point shot. And I know this game is completely different, but if you could tell me I'm going to shoot 80% from 2 versus 37% from 3, I'll take the 2s all day, every day, and then play my ass off on defense. What do you think?
So here's what I agree to some extent, because we even saw this with Luka during the championship run. And I know I ain't supposed to say his name, but during the championship
Who
run,
said you can't? Luka's name survives here,
Nah,
okay? You
I'm
can say
messing with you.
Luka's name here. Forget what anybody said. You can say Luka's name here.
Nah, I'm messing with
They ain't no gag order over here.
Nah,
You
I'm
know?
messing with you.
Nah,
No,
I'm
but
messing
so
with you
remember,
too.
we were shooting more 2s and winning games with more defense once we did the PJ and Gafford. We weren't taking 43s a game.
True.
And the other thing that people underrate is, listen, if you're going to do a lineup without a true point, I would have Najee start at the 1. We saw Najee can handle the ball and create, and I think that would be far more deadly with Najee at the 1. If you're going to
I
put
mean,
Cooper
think
at the
about it.
2, put Cooper at the 2,
PJ at the 3,
PJ at the 3, and
80 at the
guess what?
4.
But PJ shot 39% from 3 last year. And people are like, oh, but I'm like, so if you got 39, and then people underrate Cooper Flag. Cooper Flag, he ended the season at Duke shooting, I think he averaged 38.6% from 3 in Duke. But the second half of the season, from his 18th birthday on, he shot 45% from 3. Because he started off the season bad. And then he finished at 30% because, like I said, he came on after his birthday. So if he can shoot the 3 at 6'8", and 6'9", and you got PJ at 6'7", 6'8", shooting threes. AD shoots around 27 or 29%. So I mean, he's not that big of a threat, but he can step out there. So I think you can have decent spacing. I think once again, AD can shoot mid range. He don't have to he's not all just dunks. He can shoot mid range. He can create. He can take you off the dribble because he does have ball handling skills. And people forget AD started off as a point guard until he kept growing. I think, and even with Lively at the center, Lively is great at dribble handoffs.
Yeah.
You know, people they can create all kind of thing. And Cooper Flag was known for doing the pick and roll at Duke. And I really, when Kid talks about Cooper being the point guard, I only see Cooper handling the ball. To me, ideally, would be on fast breaks, like we
Mm.
play like Houston did last year. Because we got all these trees, you get a rebound, you kick the ball to Cooper to start that fast
Just
break, and then
just
y'all
go.
run it. And
Mm-hmm.
he's great at making those decisions on the fly. And you got a Lively flying down with him, and who could catch a lob, something like that. That's when he'll shine handling the ball, not bring the ball to everybody set up. Because once again, he's not Luka. I
Yeah.
don't expect him to be the engine for the offense, but like I said, if you let him run a fast break and let everybody catch up to him, because he's fast and he's good downhill, I think we'll be fine. But not just as long as we don't do anything dumb.
Yeah. I mean, and that's why I said I think that's why that's what's so in full disclosure here. I more so look at the Mavericks now with the I don't even know what way I'm trying to word this, but I look at them now without that shine. You know what I'm saying? Like I look at them like where it's just like I could kind of assess them without feeling like I see a championship. Is more so, all right, what do they need to get to a championship? Because of what happened, I look at the Mavs a little differently, so I could look at them more without being such a diehard homer. Right now, I could just look at them for basketball reasons, and the clear advantage that they have is shot size, dude. Like there's no one in the NBA that I feel that's can put a 5-man lineup out there, and then their bench can also be a starting 5 for a completely other team. And so that's what they have. And this is going to be the key thing for Kid. If he wants to put Clay out there and D'Lo out there with the starters, that could work too. But I just feel like while Kyrie is out, they have to develop something that gives them a clear advantage to, alleviate not having the Kyrie. So if, say, they do start with that jumbo lineup, that is completely different than, your typical D'Lo at the 1, Clay at the 2. Say you put Najee at the 1 and whoever at the 2, and you have this big lineup. I just feel like it poses so many issues for every other team in the NBA. And then when they go into the rotations, your second 5 is a starting 5 in its own right as well. So I think that's pretty interesting for the Mavericks this upcoming season.
Can I throw something else out there? Which, like I said, I've been seeing so many people rank the Mavericks. Like I saw SROS on he was ranking our teams. I think he had the Mavs ranked the 13th best team, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's, people always talk about if injury and all that. I'm like, if healthy, but I'm like, what team is 100%? We're seeing teams now with players dropping off with injuries right now. But I mean, Philadelphia, we don't know what's going to happen.
I mean, but is Philadelphia being, looked at as a, NBA Finals contender? I don't think so.
Okay, so let me throw this out. Okay, so here's a question. So let's say if AD did get hurt, right?
Right.
Who steps in AD's place on the team right now? Who's your starting 4 if AD goes down?
If it's me, Big J, if it's me, I'm putting Cooper there.
I'm putting PJ. PJ was just the starting 4 on the team that went to the finals 2 years ago. So my thing is the drop off. He's not AD, but he's not. Some of these guys we see on other teams coming off the bench. He's not some dude who could be in the G League the next week, or
Right.
playing in Europe. He's a dude that can give you. Last year, what he averaged like 17 and 8 or something like that last year. So I'm like, he's not trash. He's a great defender. He can step out and, like I said, shot 38% from 3. So it's not that, like I said, this team is trash. And like I said, 1 through 5. I think they said we've got 4 top 100 players on this team right now. Is what ESPN had ranked. But like I said, if you look beyond that, our second line, like I said, our bench, the 6 through 10, 6 through 11, whatever, could be starters on almost every other team.
Yep.
And then beyond that, you got players now, but like Max Christie, where is he going? We're trying to figure out when's Max Christie going to get minutes, who Max Christie can play. Some of these other guys, we're trying to figure out when they're going to get time. When's Exum going to be able to play? What Brandon, which we saw from Brandon Miller last year in spurts. So it's like they got problems in trying to find time for everybody and letting them develop.
Look, Big J, if we find time to play Exum, I am going to lose my mind, dude. If we allow Exum to play basketball this upcoming season, I will be so mad because you have Najee, Flag, D'Lo, Brandon Williams, AD, Lively. You got these other people that could probably facilitate better in specific roles, right? Like Lively on on a pick and roll, passing out of that. Whatever the case may be. But Exum, I just feel like he's so overrated. I saw what he was in the playoffs, and I don't trust dude. He's never healthy. I'm good on Exum. I'm good on Exum.
But see, once again, if we're not relying on Exum to get 30 minutes a game, you know what I'm saying? If we're relying on him to give you 10 minutes a game, and that's what I'm saying. My thing is so here's what I'm saying. Look, D'Lo should give you 25 minutes a game, right? Until Kyrie comes back. I think Brandon Williams should probably give you 15 minutes a game, and then let Exum get whatever's left. You know what I'm saying? At the point position, I really don't, like I said, I don't think Cooper should ever play pure point. Which when Kid threw that out, everybody's like, oh, but I'm like, no, he should never be the point guard.
All right, let me throw this at you, right? Because I look at this season as also a development year for Flag. Like, as much as you want to win now, because Kyrie's out, you get an opportunity to allow Flag to kind of learn from some, take some chances and make some mistakes. If you give D'Lo 25 minutes at the point, and then you give Brandon 15, that only leaves 8 minutes to play with. I'm not mad if you give those 8 minutes to Cooper Flag or to Najee. I'm not mad at that. I just don't want Exum out there. I do not. I don't want a one-handed dribbler dribbling around and under the basket until he passes it. Like, I can't do it.
But let me ask you, okay, so what if you play in a team? So I see because Exum's 6'6", right?
Right.
I could Exum's one of the dudes I would love to throw out somebody like a Shea, because Shea's 6'7". He's supposed to be their point, but Exum is a decent defender. But if you put Brandon Williams on Shea, I think Brandon Williams is going to have problems at 6'1". I think D'Lo's was 6'3", 6'4". He's undersized to guard a Shea, and there's not a ton of Sheas, but like I said, there's other tall or big body point guards. Or like I said, if you look at Minnesota, they have Anthony Edwards handling the ball. Anthony's too strong for Brandon Williams to guard. And that's why I'm saying somebody like that's where you can step in and get minutes on a defensive side and still be able to facilitate to some extent. Like I said, I don't think he's the flash we saw 2 years ago in February. I think it was a flash. I don't think that is what he is. I think he's decent, but as a third string point guard, I don't think that's terrible. And then, like I said, once Kyrie's back, he'd be DMPs.
Yeah, I mean, well, here's the other, and I love that we're having this conversation because here's the other devil's advocate perspective. If I'm willing to put Exum on Shea because of his defensive prowess, then am I? And just to throw it back to you, if I'm starting Kyrie, he's going to be a worse defender on Shea, but I have no horrors about starting him, right? So I think we could survive without Exum being on this team. I'd rather have DSJ, to be completely honest, over Exum. But you also have Caleb Martin you could throw out there. And that's what I'm saying. Honestly, Big J, I think it's going to be massive for this team to utilize that big lineup against these starting level teams in the Western Conference because of what they got. Say you got Najee guarding Shea and then he gets picked off and then Cooper or PJ got to pick him up. I feel confident with that. Where it changes is in those rotation and when you bring the bench units in, that's where I think, say, D'Lo, Clay, and everybody could really go off. But I don't know. I'm just not sold on Exum. I'm really not. And not trying to beat a dead horse. But we do got a super chat. And it's a massive super chat. Let me bring it up and shout it out. The homie K Choice, ladies and gentlemen. K Choice just dropped a big old super chat. Man. $20. That's crazy, man. Appreciate it. He says, what's up, fellas? Almost that time. Just sending love. Keep pushing. Appreciate it, brother, as always. If y'all don't follow K Choice on Twitter, definitely going to check him out. He always has a great positive message to start the day. It's the same one every single day, but it's a great positive message. So salute to K Choice, man. Mind if I get into some other comments right quick, Big J? Let me get into some other comments, man. The Latte says, make sure to like and subscribe. If you're watching and you haven't liked, make sure you like the live here. Ronnie says, second Midnight Mavness. Yeah, man. We have started, and I am not going to not keep this going. We're going to keep this going. Next week, we'll have a special guest. And then the week before the season starts, we'll have another special guest. And then we'll see if I run out of special guests after that. But we'll see. Latte, Love Midnight Madness is back. Welcome back, Big J. Yeah, man. Big J was acting funny, man. He wasn't talking to me for a while after the trade, but we figured it out.
I still got your bobblehead over here, man. What you talking about?
No, right. I need to collect. Ronnie says, thoughts on Mavs planning to use AD in a Sabonis role, like playmaking more. I'm laughing because when I saw that, I was like, damn, we traded Luka for Sabonis? Really? Is that what we did? But what are your thoughts on that report, Big J?
I heard that. See, like I tell you, I don't think that's
Did
what
you
AD
hear
is
that
good at.
report, by the way, before we
I heard
start?
it. I heard it from somebody. But my thing is, like I was just saying, I think Lively's shown more of that because Sabonis is not like because Sabonis will get you like 7 assists in a game, but most of those dribble handoffs.
Hmm.
That's more what Lively's good at,
Yeah.
not AD necessarily. So that's what I would be looking to do, not try and turn that into KD. I want KD. My whole thing with KD, like I said, not KD, AD. Let AD go out there and cook and do what he does. But I think that the reason we even got D'Lo is because D'Lo can help facilitate AD and help unlock his game. Because, like I said before coming here, they said I remember I saw those stats in two different things that the person that D'Lo assisted second most assists in his career was to AD, and they said also when he played with the Lakers, he assisted AD second behind only LeBron.
Yeah.
So if he can help make his game better, he's not having to, create for everything for himself, and he can give him an extra, a couple easy like 8 points a game, something like that. That makes a huge difference in what he can give you. If he's not having to struggle to ball handle and do everything himself and dribble it up, let him get a couple easy shots to get him going. And like I said, but yeah, I want AD to be dominant on defense. I want him to give us, 28, 27 points a game, something like that, and we're fine. I don't need him to be facilitating offenses. We've got Cooper who could do that. You've brought D'Lo in to do that. You've got other players that could help. You got Najee who can facilitate. I don't need that from AD.
Yeah.
If he gets his 4 assists a game, that's cool. But that should be either him throwing lives to Lively or Gafford or him and Cooper doing pick and rolls, pick and pops, that kind of stuff.
Well, I just find it interesting that report came out saying that about AD. Like I didn't anticipate seeing that, first of all, and second of all, I think if they were to use him in that role, I don't think it's the right way. I think you need to utilize AD specifically to take advantage of mismatches. I know it's gonna be crazy because, and again, full disclosure here, I was not a fan of the trade at all. But if you're gonna use him in a sense, you're not gonna get a Luka out of him. You're not gonna get this pure offensive weapon out of him at all. You're not. Let's be real. Defensively, that's the upside that he gives you. But he can get you buckets. And he can get you buckets against people that are inferior to him at a high level. And if you could utilize him to get, say, a point guard having to guard him on a low post off of a pick and roll, then give me the easy tools all day. And I think that's where the Mavs efficiency would go up. If I'm using him to be the facilitator and all this stuff, I think you open him for chance for injury, right?
Turnovers,
and pissing off the Mavs fans, right? I mean, it's just because they're Big J. We'll get to this in a bit, but you already know they're on edge. You already know it. The moment he plays bad, they're gonna like turn on him. But let me get to this comment right quick. Mishra says, "Are you a Mavs channel now?" I'm confused. Mishra, I'm confused too. Okay. I am doing Midnight Mavness for the love of the community that I've built. Not saying I am a Mavs fan. I am a fan of the players because I have built a bond with rooting for them. We did go to the finals with them. I do have that bond, so I can root for that. I got all my friends. I live in Dallas. I can make the content because I'm here. But am I a diehard Mavs fan for life right now? I can't say that. But still be doing Luka content. I'll be doing video game content. We'll be doing live content. I'll be doing all sorts of things. So I'm not a specific channel. I'm not niche. There's no Mavericks in my name. It's TGK TV. It's whatever TGK want to broadcast. You know what I'm saying? See how I did that?
I see. No, but I was going to ask you though. I was going to ask you a question though
Go ahead.
about what you're talking about. So, like we talk about AD and we talk about mismatches.
Right.
I think so. It's not just smaller players, but I also think weaker players. So, like to me, and I always look at OKC because they're the champs right now, right? They, hate it because they ain't no love it or hate it. It's hated.
Yeah, I hate OKC with a passion for sure.
So I think Chet versus AD is a mismatch.
Yeah.
I think AD could. So I think if he plays him, I think he's gonna get in foul trouble or get hurt. I'm talking about Chet because he's not strong enough to go. He's lanky, And then but he's not strong enough. And even if you put Chet versus what's his name, Hardenstein, I don't think he's really big enough and strong enough to bother AD in the post or give him problems. I think, like I said, lanky, yes, but I don't think he's that strong. He's bigger than Chet, but
Yeah, but so OKC starts both of them, right? They
usually.
don't come off the bench for each other. Now that's
Although they did draft another center. They drafted another center, which
I
also got,
heard.
and he was good too. That's one of the when I was doing the draft research. Yeah, he's gonna be Hardenstein's replacement. I do believe.
So they do run the double big. Mavericks gonna run the double big. Yeah, I mean, and I mean that's the thing about it is really, I'm actually looking. I'm more hyped about Monday now than I was previously. Like I actually want to see what this looks like on Monday. But again, whatever happens Monday, do not buy stock in that because come the regular season is going to be completely different. So just because the Phoenix Suns beat on the Luka LeBron-less Lakers does not mean that the Phoenix Suns are about to go win the championship. You know what I'm saying? Let's hype down.
Nah.
But
One thing I was going to throw out too though is I'm very disappointed because in Latte knows and a lot of other folks, I was high on Kai Jones from what I saw of him last year, and I was like, I wish we could have held on to him even. And I know it's weird, like I get a lot of hate from the Mavs fans because people were celebrating that Dwight Powell picked up that option, and I'm like, Dwight Powell should never see the floor. You talk about Exum should never see the floor. Dwight Powell should never see the floor.
I'm with you.
And
like I've been with you like 5 years ago. I'm done with Dwight. He's like, I'm
you like the
done.
90s, huh? He like you done.
I'm done, bro. Big trash. We done with the 90s. I'm done, bro. I don't understand it. Like I don't know. Go ahead, bro. Go ahead before I start.
No, because every time I mention that, people are like, how you gonna disrespect our GOAT? He's been here 8 years.
What GOAT? A GOAT of what?
Just because you, and I say the same argument I get hate from on my LeBron. Just because you've been here playing for a while does not mean you're good. You just been here for a while. It doesn't mean you're great because you stuck around. It just means that you stuck around.
You know what really pissed me off is when they did the Mavericks Mount Rushmore and Dwight freaking Powell was on it. So you know how offensive that is to the history of the Dallas Mavericks?
Jet. I mean, you could put out Jet to me is further up than there's a time. Like I said, no, man, that's Finley should be on there.
Yeah.
But
let me see. Let me see if I could find that link where I saw that. It was the most disrespectful thing. That's Mount Rushmore has one glaring thing. Let me see if I can find it. Who they put on it? They put Dirk. They put Kid. Damn, I can't find it.
Oh.
I think they put Luka. Maybe they did. I mean,
Luka should be.
He
was here for 7 years.
Yeah.
So Luka's the most talented player to ever play in Dallas.
Ever. Okay, here it goes. Dallas Mavericks Mount Rushmore Bleacher Report. And let me agree. So they got Kid. Oh, that Bleacher Report actually had a good one. They had Jason Kidd. They had Rolando Blackman, Mark Cuban, and Dirk. That's pretty interesting. I wonder where we got the bad Mount Rushmore from. Must have been ESPN.
So there's one from August. There's one from August 25, and I see that they mentioned Dwight, and I'm like, because he played 700 games, I'm like, nobody cares.
Right.
I'm like, I don't care about the 700 games. Look at his averages. He averages like 5 points a game.
And those points are, because he played with a great point guard. Johnny B says, TJ, I'm still confused as to how people have Golden State Warriors over the Mavs. Yeah, I'm confused too.
Let's look at the ages. Okay, so I went over this the other day. Let's look at the ages. How old are the players on the Golden State Warriors?
About 40.
No, I mean honestly, if we look at the roster right now, and we look at the ages on that roster, right?
Should I put the comments up here?
I'm
gonna try it there for a while.
I looked at this earlier, man. I was looking at the dates, and there were several teams like this. So Gary Payton II, 32 years old.
Hmm.
Who's this other one that's on here?
Damn,
That
32
people,
already?
Buddy
Crazy.
Hield, 32.
Damn,
You
32.
know,
I don't
Jimmy
know when he got
Butler,
drafted.
36. Who's this other guy here that we could? Al Horford, 39. He'll be 40 this year.
And Curry like 37, 38?
Draymond, 35. Curry, 37. Seth Curry, 35. You know, Jackson
Whole
Rose,
team.
no, he's 28. Pat Spencer, 6'3", 28.
That team needs some youth.
Just like people talk about the Clippers being so great, I'm like, the Clippers are older. I mean, if you look at the average age of the Clippers, and people, I saw the comment about the Clippers. They were talking about they hope that Bradley Beal returns to his defensive old day. I'm like, when did Bradley Beal ever play defense? When have you ever heard those two words, Bradley Beal and defense?
Bradley
at the same
Beal on
time?
defense. All right. Yeah, that's funny. Johnny B says TGK Exum is the worst player on the roster, not named Dwight Powell. His facilitation is overrated. His one-hand dribble is awful, and he still hasn't practiced. He's always he hasn't practiced. He hasn't practiced at all. That's crazy, man. I hate when Exum drives left and uses his right hand just to get blocked. Like, bro, get in the gym with Kyrie and work on your left. Like, the fact that he's in the NBA without a left hand, I will say that is pretty impressive. And I'll give him a round of applause for that, for sure. It's pretty impressive. I'm playing the sound effect, by the way, Big J.
Oh, okay. So here's the question. So do you think, all right, if we had a choice, I really want to get rid of Caleb Martin, honestly. But since we couldn't do that, I was like, because I want to get rid of Caleb Martin, I wanted to re-sign Kai Jones, because I thought, what if one of our bigs goes down? I really did not want AD playing at the center, and I know people was like, oh, I'm like, I wanted, because Kai Jones could play the 4 or the 5. We saw that last year. He could step out and even shoot threes. He shot threes occasionally.
Mm-hmm.
And for whatever reason, I think they were trying to move. I know they tried to move Hardy and they tried to move Omax by trade to free up the spots, and that didn't work out. But I was hoping they could move Martin or something. I was like, if we could do that, we would have been like,
we probably should have never moved Grimes for Martin. We'd probably be in a better spot, But
we should have moved. I think we should have moved off of Grimes, because, like I said, Grimes got bad advice from his agent for whatever reason. Because he overvalued himself. He was thinking Grimes thought he was a $30 million a year player. And they said, and Grant, because like I said, once again, his agent says weird contradictory stuff, because we know they were working on an extension, and he rejected the offer. And they said that before the season, they offered him the same deal they offered Najee. It was like basically about $9 million a year or something like that, and he rejected that. They said he was talking like around $20 million before the season started, and he wanted to go prove it. And so people really, really overhyped the fact that in March he went off and was averaging 20 plus points a game in March on a team with zero players that was playing for nothing, in the 76ers. And now and then all of a sudden after that, he wants 25 to 30 million a year, and anything less is an insult. And I'm like, Josh Giddey just got in. Josh Giddey can almost give you a baby Luka triple double in a given night.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He does not do that. Grimes is not that guy. And I'm like, so people are saying we should have kept Grimes. I'm like, no, because I wouldn't keep him, but I would have traded him for somebody else. I wouldn't trade him for Caleb Martin. I would have traded him because, like I said, he wasn't going to be here, and I would not want the distraction and the cap hole, because we wouldn't be able to make the moves we were able to make with Grimes' cap hole still being on here with him on the big extension. Like I said, you saw the other teams were kind of frozen until they got the restricted free agent taken care of. They just making moves now.
Yeah, and no, the hard part about it is that you gave up a pick to get rid of Grimes too. It's just like you couldn't find anybody to just give you something for Grimes. So it's
well, we gave them their pick back, and then they gave us another, but they didn't give us the same year. They could have gave us a 2025 pick back, because we gave them the 2025 second round pick, and then they gave us a 2029 second round pick back once his medicals came back. So we did it netted, but we still should have kept the one we had in that deal.
Yeah, we shouldn't.
Because we could have got Proctor or something like that. We could, which is Latte's favorite player.
It's just more frustration, because you should never given up a pick to begin with, right? Same thing in the Luka deal. Why we give up a pick as well? Why did we send a second?
We sent a second to Utah to make them facilitate. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, why couldn't LA do it? Anyway.
No, don't start that. Because I can tell you my thoughts on Luka trade.
Oh God, yeah, because you were for it. That's why.
No,
I'm
what
messing.
what did I tell you? What I tell you?
And look, man, I think this upcoming season, there's gonna be so much like, and I know you're not on Twitter like this, but the amount of bitterness and pettiness already right now, I could only imagine what it's gonna be like as the season goes along.
Just don't get on Reddit either, because Reddit's about the same as Twitter, if not worse.
Bro, I can't even go on Reddit. Anytime I go on Reddit and post anything, I just don't engage on Reddit because
Well,
like,
no. So any post that pops up on Mavs Reddit, you see the same two responses and it's back to back. And I'm like, that's why I started making comments on that, because I'm like, dude, just stop. Because they was like, oh, we just signed whatever, whatever, and they're like, Trey, fire Nico, sell the team. I'm like, okay, but that's every post, no matter what it is, about whatever it could be. That's
right.
every, and I'm like, okay, dude, this is it's almost a year now.
But
Like,
but
let
no
it go.
no more so for
And I
me
know,
like whenever I try to promote like my channel or whatever, it's like, oh, you need to be on Reddit for a year before you could post. I'm like, what kind of shit is this, bro? Like,
nah, I'm talking about like, dude, if anybody posts anything, it's like
yeah,
they could be talking about us going to play. Like I said, we practicing in Vancouver. Cool, fire Nico, sell the team. I'm like, dude, stop. I'm like, that's just come on. You just doing it for attention at this point, you know.
I mean, it still is fire, Nico. Ronnie says when Kyrie returns in February/March, let's say he's 75-80% of himself. Are we like a second round exit, third round, or do we just focus on developing flag for this season? I would actually say Kyrie might be back sooner than February. To
Yes,
be honest with you,
yes, I've been arguing that too.
yeah. Just by looking at the footage and the way he's shooting, he looks way ahead of schedule for sure.
Well, and once again, people say it's ahead of schedule, but like I said, out of the
Oh, what
two
is
of
the
us,
schedule?
I've had two torn ACLs, right?
Mm.
And I've done the rehab and all that stuff. And I tore mine back in college and I had the worst ACL replacement surgery. Where they actually took the middle third of my patella tendon, which is the kneecap, and used that instead of now they're doing either hamstring or they're doing the cadavers. Those are the ones that have the fastest recovery time. My
Mm.
recovery time was 6 months before I could run or jump.
Mm.
And so, like I said, it was 6 months, and this was 25 years ago, because I know I'm 5,000 years old according to everybody. So it's 25 years ago when I had mine done, or 27 years ago, actually, when I had my surgery done. And I was able to run and jump, and I could almost dunk right after 6 months was done.
Mm.
So the thing is, Kyrie, once again, this is much better technology. He had a much better surgeon than I had. And I'm sure he did not have the same injury, because mine created another weakness in the surgery when they did the surgery.
Mm.
So my thing is, his surgery was on March 26th. He's already passed the 6 month mark. He was already lightly jogging and moving well. Like, you saw him doing jumpers and all that before the 6 month surgery. If I'm saying it should take him 2 months to ramp up from the point where he's been cleared to run and jump,
Mm.
then he should be fine. I'm like, if people act like, oh, it'll be March, February, April. I'm like, no, man. I'm like, he should be back. I keep telling people he should be playing by the end of December.
Yeah.
Because if you take 2 months because September 26th was 6 months from March 26th. If he was cleared to run and jump at that point, even if it's 25%, it should not take him 6 months to get into full speed or even 85%. He should be running at 85, 90% by December.
Yeah.
So, but everybody wants to be like, oh, he's out for the whole season. He won't be back until next year, 2 years from now. I'm like, no.
I mean, you never know, man. I mean, he also is 32, so you heal a lot different. But with today's science and the medical advances we've made, I think the way he looks now, I think he should be good in January. But they probably want to go a little conservative and wait for February. But we'll see. But
Didn't he see when he broke his hand before last season? He was doing pickup games 3 weeks later. I saw
yeah,
videos of him doing crossing with people in the gym, and I'm like, "What you doing, Kyrie? You just broke your hand, had hand surgery."
yeah, I do remember that.
Because I was shocked.
And that's the thing, like, depending on how he comes back, like, if he comes back, what do you think he's going to come back at? From the 100% Kyrie that we got before the injury, who was maybe almost second all-team or first all-team, right?
Mhm.
What level do you think he's back at? Do you think he's at third all-team or just a level below that, or he's back at his normal of what he was before he got injured?
Well, he said he wants to be able to come back and do what he said he was doing before. So my thing is,
It's tough, man.
if he comes, so my thing, if even he comes back at 85%, right? Where my calculator at? It started popping up. So
We're about to get Big J Maths up in here, man. About to get Big J Maths.
oh, what was that? There it is. Well, no, so he was averaging what 25. He was averaging, and this thing too. He was averaging Anthony Davis. I mean, Anthony Edwards numbers before he got hurt. It's basically 25, 5, and 5.
Mm.
So if he gives you 85%, right, of 25, that gives you 21 points a game. If he gives you 21, 4, and 4, would you be like, oh no? Yeah, I'm like, yeah, I'll take that in a heartbeat. And so, and then if you got, once again, if D'Lo can fall back to your backup point guard, greatness. You know what I'm saying? I think he's good enough to run the ship, you know, as a in the meantime. But like I said, if he can fall back to just being not where he's exposed, where he's making mistakes and he's overexposed, he can then spring back to about 15, 20 minutes a night.
I'm gonna be honest with you, Big J. The jury is still out for me on D'Lo. Like, I understand he has, you know, the background with AD, Clay, and all these guys. Christie, I still have to see it, man. I got to see it to believe it. In a number one role, because D'Lo, if he's going to be the number one point guard for this team, I think he becomes one of the most important players until Kyrie returns.
Mm-hmm.
Right up there with AD's health ability. Like, if he could stay available, if AD could give you 62 games this season, I think the Mavericks will be fine. If they dip below that, and for full disclosure, Lively only played like 30 games last year, and he only played like 50 games his first year. So Lively has also been an injury prone guy, and I fully expect him to miss a couple of games. But if both of them, Lively and AD, could give you 60, right? Fingers crossed. If they both could give you 60, the Mavs will be fine. But say they both dip in that 50 range, that's where it's like, all right? So, but besides that, I think D'Lo has a really big question mark for me on what he's going to deliver this upcoming season as a number one point guard on the team for a couple of months. And I'm pretty sure you have full belief in him. You know, you're the Mavs, you know, diehard here.
Hold on. So here's the thing. No, like, one, I'm not super negative, but I'm also not Mr. Like I say, I don't blow smoke. I tell people my actual thoughts.
Right.
Like I tell you, when I talked about Kyrie, I'm not saying, oh, I hope Kyrie comes back early, because I had that injury. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I went through the rehab, so I know what it feels like. And
yeah.
So I'm saying, so 25 years worth of science and technology and medical development, and him having way more money going into his rehab than I did.
This guy, you got the trainers that you need.
Dude, he was doing the leg extensions and all that in April. When he first posted his first video on TikTok, he was showing him doing rehab, and when he was doing leg extensions and lifting and all that, I'm like, yeah, I ain't getting any of that. Yeah. So I'm not like, oh yeah, I'm just hoping. I'm like, dude, he's been doing rehab the whole time. It's not like, oh no. But what I'm looking at, so if D'Lo gives you, let's see, what did he do last year? So last year was his worst year. Yeah, last year was his worst year between the three, you know, the teams he was on. If you look at the year before with LA, he was averaging 18 points, 6.3 assists, 3 rebounds a game. And really, if you look before that, he was averaging about those numbers for 7 years straight. You know, a couple times he jumped up, he was averaging about that number for about 7 years straight. Mm-hmm. So I think I would look at more last year as the anomaly, because he's not old. He's like 28. I think he's 27, 28 years old. So it's not like he's old and past his prime and fall off. I just think he was in a situation with the Lakers, of course. You saw the Lakers; they was messing with him. And when LeBron basically making it clear he didn't want him on the team, and he was not feeling love on that team, and he was crying and all that on the sideline. So, like I said, that messes with somebody, you know.
Yeah. It's 29, by the way.
Okay, 29. But still, he ain't 32. He's younger than both of us.
Yeah. True.
But I'm saying,
so in the NBA, he in the NBA, you know.
No, I know. I don't think he can do that. I think he can go back to what he was. Not even, but like I said, that's decent. That'd be better than anybody else on the team. If he can give you what he was doing for the last 7 years before that, he's fine.
Yeah, it's just him as the number one option. Well, not the number one option, the number one point guard. He has to defend the best point guard on the other team on most nights, right? in the vaulted Western Conference. It's interesting, and I have faith that he can deliver and hold the fort down. But I gotta see it. I'm just not gonna come out here and fully trust the process.
Does he have to defend the best, or does he have to just be good enough? Like I said, does he have to just slow them down a second? Because, like I said, you got two corners and one free safety behind him. If we're gonna do football analogies, you got AD who loves if AD's not anchored in the paint, if AD can just roam and protect and be a help side defender, and Cooper's gonna be a help side defender, and then you got Lively or Gafford anchor in the paint, then yeah, if as long as he stops somebody for a half a second, where they get pushed off or where somebody can adjust to him, I think it's okay.
Yeah, and that's the thing, and then that's where I do think the Mavs do have a little bit of a weakness. If in a position like his, if he cannot stop someone for a full second, it's gonna break the defense down. And against an OKC, against the teams that can actually shoot threes and that have a point guard like that, saving a Luka, right? That can find people open to hit threes, and you got two bigs out there. You've seen it. Luka pulled the safety, the center out there, then, we're no man's land. But I think for D'Lo's perspective, being out there, I got faith in the guy. I just got to see it. Right? We don't watch Lakers games when he was there. I didn't watch Nets games when he was there. So I got to see it here and see how he performs with the Mavs in the Mavs uniform.
Only center I trust on the Mavs to guard in space. But I mean, like I said, the true center is Lively. I think Lively, because I know we talked about it last, because we kept hearing how Maxey was our best big defender in space, and I'm like, 5 years ago maybe, but I'm like, Lively was clearly a better defender in space.
You're telling me Lively is better in space than AD?
I think he's better, because I think he's better on the perimeter. I think AD is great all around, but Lively can move his feet, and Lively, like I said, I think if you put him on a point guard, it's not an automatic blow by. If he's out there guarding, I've seen him guard guards on the perimeter, and he's not they're not torching him. He's staying in front of him and moving his feet and being able to throw them off. Because like I said, and then he's taller too.
And that's why I say I think the Mavs need to take better advantage of their size against these teams. Because when they go against an elite point guard, that is going to present issues for the Mavs. An elite one, like a Shea, like a Luka, things of that sort. But again, their size is what's going to get their biggest advantage. And if AD moving worse than Lively, I don't know, bro. I do think the AD moves better than Lively, to be honest with
you. He's good. No, I'm just saying. Like I said, I think AD is he's probably the best overall defender we got.
Yeah.
But my thing is this: so let's say we were to roll, if we play in the Lakers, your second favorite team of all time, and we put Luka, and let's say we did start our Najee lineup. Najee's the point guard. Najee's big enough to stay with Luka. He's fast enough to stay with Luka. So I think Najee could give Luka headaches if we did that matchup. I think, and then who's a shooting guard on that?
I mean, we just saw this matchup last year with out of shape Luka, and he torched the Mavs in Dallas. Did he not?
Yeah, but that was also the Mavs with everybody hurt too. It was like
no, it was not. No,
we
it was
had
not.
the injuries.
PJ was there, AD was there, Lively, Gafford, Najee.
AD wasn't playing. AD didn't play that game.
Yes, he did.
AD got hurt
In Dallas. In Dallas, he was there.
Oh, he did play. But
yes.
AD, hold on. Okay, hold on.
He played the full game and didn't show up. It wasn't like he didn't play because he didn't show up.
No, but we talked about it. So you wasn't talking about this, but we talked about this on the other stuff. AD should not have played last year after he got hurt. I said they should have shut him down because he wanted to rush himself back to prove a point, and I was like, that's the worst thing you could do because all you're gonna do is get hurt. And same thing with Lively. I told everybody we should have shut Lively down, Gafford down, AD down, all of it. When those guys got hurt, that should have been. Once Kyrie was out, we should have shut everybody down.
But
so those guys, how they played, I did not count. And I know if you're on the court, but I'm like, those games don't tell me nothing because those guys were not anywhere close to 100%, and they should not have been on the court at all.
I mean, you're on the court, man.
Huh?
You were on the court, like if you're on the court, but you know how it is though. If you're on the court, I'm not gonna, take my foot off the gas, especially in that kind of scenario.
No,
yeah,
but I'm saying they should never play. They never
True.
should have. The team should have never let them play. But that's when we had the terrible, the guy who didn't know what he was doing as a trainer.
Oh yeah,
So
that too. That too.
so that all like I said, none of that should have happened.
So many glaring issues that has transpired over the last year. But no, they played last year and they played against a out of shape Luka and he torched them. So if we're doing that, the only thing I don't want to get, we will talk again whenever it is the Lakers versus the Mavs. But that is going to be an interesting matchup because now they have Cooper Flag to throw at Luka. Not to say he's gonna get anywhere near shutting down Luka. He'll probably learn a lot from guarding Luka. But that is a 6'10" guy that you could throw out there to cause issues. But Luka eventually figured out Ben Simmons. He figured out Tatum and things of that sort. So I think he's used to playing against players like that because that's what they throw at Luka all the times. But that is another great player to throw at him because the Mavericks will have all the size in the world to deal with these elite point guards.
See, if I was doing, I mean, he gonna have to get put on him at some point. But that would be when I would put up the supersize. I would put like a PJ on LeBron because I wouldn't even put I want Cooper to basically be, like I said, a free safety. I want him just roaming and just help defending everybody. I don't want him to be primarily on a Luka or LeBron because all LeBron gonna do is get back him down and get fouls off of him. That's all he's gonna do because he's gonna get the whistle. We already know.
Yeah, he gonna go through the paint on them.
And so that's what I'm saying. But PJ, I think, can stay with him, and I think PJ is strong enough to keep LeBron off balance to some extent, where he's gonna slow him down. Like I said, with Luka, you're gonna probably put somebody like either Najee or if we do that lineup, it had to be Najee because like I said, I want to put like Cooper on the other dude. What's his face? Austin Reeves. I put Cooper on Austin Reeves because I think he could lock Austin Reeves up, and if Austin Reeves is shut down, that shuts down a lot of their offense.
Yeah. Ronnie says, do y'all see Cooper being an Amen Thompson level defender? I'll let you answer that one.
In a different way. Amen Thompson is raw. He's a great defender, but he's also extremely athletic. Cooper's athletic, but he's different. See, so no, my thing with like I said, I think Cooper's going to be a good defender. I don't know if, like I said, because Amen stuff is almost built on his strength and athleticism. Not that he's dumber, but like I said, he's very extremely athletic. He can recover quickly. He's got a quick second jump, and he's strong. Like he's strong. He could probably guard Zion. You know what I'm saying? Because I've seen him go up against people, and he's much stronger than most of the players his size.
And Flag is only 19. I mean 18 too. So what 4 years from now, he will not look as thin as he does. And hopefully people don't think of it as weight gain, but it's gonna be muscle. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be a lot. It'll be different. And I think he'll be even more deadlier as he ages and develops more. But Big J, now I want to bring up the topic I've been wanting to talk about all night.
What's that?
Mark Cuban, man. Let me paint this picture for everybody here. So y'all know Pablo. What is it? What's his last name?
Escobar. Pablo Escobar. Come on now. Come on. That's what Obama thinks he is.
That's what it feels like. Pablo Escobar, man. Yeah, he's been exposing the Clippers, Ballmer, Kawhi Leonard, and all this stuff, and he alluded to the idea of looking into the Jalen Brunson deal and how that looks like. But being a Mavs, creator, I guess, or being around the Mavs during the heyday, Dirk did take pay cuts, hometown discounts, quote unquote. But did he really, Big J? Is Mark Cuban defending the hell out of Steve Ballmer for reasons that we may not know, or is it because he's just as guilty as Ballmer? And I know you have a unique perspective. So do you care to elaborate on this?
So first, I think Mark needs to shut up. I think Mark needs to stop talking at all. I think Mark needs to go handle the cost plus drugs and work on that and do whatever else he needs to do and stop talking. maybe need to go back on Shark Tank and lose some more money on Shark Tank. But that's the problem. So once again, Mark talking, he's the only owner that's actually saying anything. Everybody else is talking off the record and they're actually agreeing with Pablo. Because Pablo said he said he's been contacted with other assistant GMs, other front office people, other coaches, and they said the problem is with the Clippers thing. They said everybody does stuff like that. They said it's just his was so egregious. Like the Dirk one was
Mhm.
egregious because once again, Dirk pass up like $90 million in contract those last 3-4 years when he could have signed with Houston or
Yeah, it was a
uh,
$90 million contract. I think he
yeah.
gave up over 200 in his career.
Well, that's the thing is Dirk made like $250 million, but Dirk could have made far more money, and that's
Far
what
more.
we all even back then I was operating under the assumption that Dirk was maybe as I don't think anybody ever told me this officially when I was hanging with the team people, but I can't recall officially, So
Mm,
allegedly, no, I think we all knew that Dirk was supposed to have a role as like with the team as a consultant after he left basketball, so he would always have some role with the team.
I heard about that. I do remember that.
And that's what he started off doing, and then Dirk even himself came out because everybody was like, "Oh, Dirk's mad at the team," but Dirk himself came out and said that when he was doing that stuff, when he was showing up with the pen and the paper and all that, that he said it was weird because he was handing like was giving them reports after practice to, and he was like, he just felt like, "What am I doing? I'm coming
Mm,
here every day," and he wasn't ready to be at practice every day, like acting like a coach.
yeah.
So that's what he said. He was like, "Nah, let me just leave." And he said that's why he left from being at the team every day because he just didn't feel that that's what he was doing.
Mm,
But my thing is, I think that Dirk had a deal with Mark. And remember, right after that deal, Mark bought the rights to the Dirk documentary too. His biography movie that was made. His
mm,
production company bought those rights.
mm-hmm.
So once again, that looks suspicious because you have to have an owner
Suspicious.
that has money. But like I tell you, man, I think a lot of teams do it. I think, like they said, a lot of teams will arrange stuff. I think that Kawhi is egregious in the fact that Uncle Dennis is just out of control. And like what every team should did was the same thing that Toronto did and the same thing that the Lakers did. So the Lakers laughed at it when Dennis went up to him talking about I want because he told Toronto he wanted a piece of the Maple Leafs and they're like we don't even own the Maple Leaf.
Right, right. He wanted ownership and everything.
He was like, and I need a $25 million no show endorsement because they're like we can get you endorsements. He's like no, I don't want to do nothing for him. And they was like, and so they said Toronto was just like wow, and they said the Lakers just laughed him. They said they laughed him out the
Hmm.
building. And he ran to the Clippers, and Ballmer was like, "Yeah." And the fact that Ballmer had already got in trouble for the exact same thing with what's his name, DeAndre Jordan, trying to get him a $250,000 uh, Lexus sponsorship, which is much
Mm,
much smaller. But that was part of the thing when didn't come to us was he did that. When he went back to the Clippers, he got a $250,000 sponsor from Lexus, and the league found out about it, and they killed it.
yeah.
And they punished and fined him. But like I said, Bomber's was $150 million. $150 billion. You fine him $200,000 for a violation. What does that do?
Right.
Even if the max fine they could even levy for the Kawhi thing is I think it's 7.3, $7.5 million. What does that do when you're worth $750 billion?
That's
150 billion.
crazy. That's crazy
150
that
billion.
that's the only penalty that they could get. That's
That's
wild.
the max under the CBA.
Yeah.
Now they could do other stuff like they could, hit him with other penalty. So let's say back to the thing. Mark needs to shut up. Mark needs to stop talking because like I said, the natural because the stuff with Dirk was over 10 years ago. So
Yeah.
that the one, I don't think it would
Statute of
affect.
limitations, you know?
Well, no, but it's a different ownership. Dirk doesn't play for the team anymore. So what would you even do?
Yeah. How would you
Like at
check the
that point,
books?
it
Yeah.
was after the championship team. So you can't take the championship back. So
Mm,
there's no point in him talking or bringing up because I don't think he was at any risk. I just think he's dumb enough to think, "Oh no, let me," and I'm like, "Dude, there's no need for you to defend that. It's
right.
really indefensible." And the funny thing is, every time Cuban opens his mouth and says, "Well, I can't believe if Ballmer's dumb enough if he wanted the team, if he found out this company was fraudulent, they were going out of business, he'd be dumping money in and save them. That's what you do, right?" And
Mm,
then next week, Pablo, yeah, here's what he put in for 2 million here. He put in an extra 20 million here. And you're like, you show, well, he did do that, huh? And then, well, you haven't proven anything besides circumstance. I'm like, Mark, just stop that because all you do, you feed his whole investigation. Basically, you tell him what it
right.
is.
He just helped him with the investigation. It's
If it was
just
me doing this is what I would do. Like,
just stop talking, brother. Damn, man. Like I don't know. Mark Cuban he just overdoes things nowadays. It's just when it comes to how he talks about the Mavericks now after the Luka trade, it's like I just don't care to hear about him specifically anymore. Like he sold the team. Anything he says just means nothing to me anymore. And I was growing tired of him anyway as an owner. But then when he sold the team, he really lost any kind of things he could have said about this trade.
right. Can we also talk about the fact
What?
with Luca, right? I mean,
What?
not Luca, with Mark. Mark now he regrets because remember he told the team he was supposed to stay governor, and then he was told that the league removed all that, but Jeannie Buss had that same deal, and the owner who sold Boston kept the same deal that they remained governor of the team even after the sale for a set number of time. And I'm like, so I brought this up to King, I brought this up to other people. I'm like, is it that Mark is really bad at business? And people don't want to hear that because Mark's a billionaire, Mark's a, but I broke the numbers down for King on Friday. I said Mark sold broadcast.com, him and his partner sold broadcast.com for $5.7 billion in 1999, right?
Mhm.
So Mark roughly owned 50% of that, which means he would have got about, they did pay bonuses to the employees. So I said he would have roughly got about 2.7 to $2.9 billion, right?
Mm-hmm.
Out of that deal. I said probably about 2.7 billion out of the deal because they did pay a bunch of money to the employees, like $100,000 bonuses.
Yeah.
He then turned around and bought the Mavericks for $200 million, which would have left him roughly about 2.5 billion, right?
Mm-hmm.
30 years later, almost 25 years later, he sells the Mavericks for 76% of Mavericks. I said 76% of Mavericks. He sold 73% for $3.5 billion.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Mark's total net worth as of right now is estimated to be $6 billion, which you take the 2.5 he had left from the sale,
Mm-hmm.
and the 3.5, that is $6 billion, which means in 30 years, Mark has been breaking even. Like I said, he could have took that money. Like I said, I get it. I said he could have took that money and put it into the S&P 500. He could have bought crypto. You know what I'm saying? He could have
Mm-hmm.
bought Bitcoin, and he'd be worth $100 billion.
I mean, he did
So,
get into crypto, but that was a scam too.
but I'm saying he's not showing himself to be this.
Yeah.
No, and I'm on Shark Tank. Like I said, like I told you, I said it's almost like he's another billionaire who got this name as a brilliant business maker from a reality TV show,
Mm-hmm.
and people think that he's a brilliant business person, but in reality, it doesn't look like he's that brilliant of a business person. And he's got more money than UI. $6 billion is still $6 billion, but like I said,
Yep.
if you break down the history of how he got to his $6 billion, is it like I said, people also forget his ownership time as the Mavericks. He was basically a failure for most of that. I mean, you surround one of the greatest players of all time, number 6 all time scoring, who was loyal to you with Rafe LaFrance and Chris Kaman
Sean
and
Bradley,
so,
Eric
I mean,
Dampier.
you leave Eric alone. I saw Eric at the at Starbucks. I
Saw him
saw him
at
at Starbucks.
Starbucks.
Yeah,
He
he was
still
he was on Starbucks on Frankfurt at and the tollway, and I was like, "What you doing out here in the hood?"
stay out here.
I, this was what 2-3 years ago. He was walking. He pulled up and got it. Him and his daughter was getting Starbucks, and I was like,
What?
I looked at him like Eric. 'Cause he's 6'11", so I'm like, Eric, what's up? And he was like,
Yeah.
hey.
Damn.
So, but I mean,
That's
look at the
dope.
rest of the play. Look at all the players who played on this team. Pavel Podkolzin. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
All this great talent with all this unlimited money that Mark's supposed to have, and I love basketball. The losing Steve Nash for nothing because once again he was like, I can't pay Steve. Steve's breaking down. Steve won 2 MVPs
Yep.
as soon as he left. You know, it's like you look at over and over again the bad mistakes that Mark, and we act like Mark was this great owner that did so much. He put PlayStations in the locker rooms. Cool. I've been in the locker room before. I saw it's like he did stuff to make the players happy, and he invested in the rehab and all that stuff, and that was cool. But as far as he's one that hired Haralabob. Remember that when he
Mm-hmm.
hired her, who was making all those terrible draft decisions. And hey, let's not go get Desmond Bain. Let's go get Josh Green because Desmond Bain's arms are too short. According to my calculations, he won't be a good basketball player. And I'm like, but out of the two, who would you rather have on your team? Who's
Right. Both have been traded, but one has upside right now, being on the Magic.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like if we look at the history of his time, it's not impressive.
Right.
He won one championship in almost 30 years of ownership,
And then
but
broke
he
up
should
that
have won.
team.
Yeah, and how many? He should have won so many more.
Yeah,
They
Dirk at least should have been the 3 finals and at least won 2 of them, at the very least.
and look at it. And during that time, we were on Rumble. We were the second best team in the West for like a 10-year period. We had
for a
50 games a
decade,
year
bro.
every year. We were
A
averaging
decade.
50. So it's like, but we always get this man accolades like, oh man, he's the best. He's the greatest.
Well, I do give him props though, because he did usher in the Mavs fans for life era. Like, I do give him that.
He took that from somebody else.
From who?
He said Mark said somebody messaged him, and that was their little thing. Was their tag was he like?
That's why I said he ushered it in. Not that he was a part of that. He created the connection that I was able to build being a Mavs fan growing up. Because you from the 50s Mavs fan, right?
I was not a Mavs fan before I moved here in '98. So I moved here in '98.
Oh, so you became a fan in '98. See, I was a fan around that time, around 98, 99. That's when I was like, things were clicking for me. Right? Like, oh, I like basketball. Who's my team? Oh, the Mavs. Oh, we got Dirk. Oh, we got Nash. Like, oh, we got Finley. So that's how I looked at them. And so we grew up with that. Well, I grew up. You've been here for. I grew up with this Mavs, that version of the Mavs, and then for them to change who they are. It's cool. I get it. But Mark Cuban, he has just lost like a lot of, I would say, like the impact of his words just aren't the same anymore. Like, and I agree with you. I just feel like he does need to just shut the hell up. Stop.
Well,
you're just bringing attention to your team for no reason. And if they look into it, pretty sure they would find something. Not to forget to mention the whole scandal that happened, a couple years ago, where he should have lost his ownership to begin with. But remember what he said?
I know.
I'm just the owner. I don't
do day-to-day operation.
Yeah. Like, what kind of response is that, dude?
Because no, you don't. Okay, so that story is so messed up, and all that stuff that went down during that time before they got sent here, before Cynthia Marshall came here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if we ever talked about this stuff. Like, you remember the story of Donnie's nephew?
Yeah, we talked about it. Yeah.
So all that kind of stuff was going down.
The fact that he was an owner this long is probably why he sold it so quickly.
But here's the other question though. So, and he made that acknowledgement on DLLS when he did the interview, because he was like, they asked if he regretted it, and he was like, well, I regret not putting it up for bid, opening up for bids. And I'm like, yeah. Once again, why would you not put it up? Like, we blame Nico for not putting Luke up for bids. Why didn't you open up the team for bids? Everybody wants to buy NBA teams. They're worth tons of money, and the money is going up. Why would you not open it up to say, hey, y'all, I'm thinking about selling the Mavs? And I guarantee you would have
bunch of malpractice here in Dallas, man.
But you see what I'm saying? It's like, these are the people who are making decisions, and we're like, oh yeah, I'm like, dude, people are dumb. Once you accept that people are dumb, you're not going to be disappointed nearly as much. And people are petty. So
yeah, facts.
They make dumb, petty decisions, and then you'd be like, okay, then that makes sense now.
Yeah, I love this decision. This is such a great one. But yeah, man, not trying to keep you here too much longer. I try to keep these at an hour, because I know it is Midnight Mavness, but it doesn't mean we go to midnight. Just
Look, I got all kind of energy. I'm a young man still. I don't know about you. I know you got to take naps,
bro. All I did was sleep today. Today was my day for recovery, and I found myself sleeping for the majority of the day. It was so great. It was so great. I loved it. I look at my face. I look rejuvenated, And I could talk to you for a whole nother hour, but we're not even in the season yet. Let us get into the season, and we're gonna be doing 3-hour Midnight Madness.
You know that, right? I got stories from going back 30, because I tell you, I used to hang with Donnie back in the days and all that stuff. I got all kind of stories from back then.
All right, so here's what I believe I have scheduled coming up. So next week I got DFW Sports Rap coming through, Drewski. on Saturday. He doesn't know it yet, but I'm gonna ask Slightly. Me and Slightly have never collabed ever. Oddly enough, right? He's collabed with everyone else. Me and Slightly have not collabed yet. I'm gonna send out a text and just
He already responded when I messaged him on Instagram before because he was messing up some stuff on the salary cap. I said, if you need help with the salary cap, I said, let's talk. He ain't never even responded. I was like, see?
Okay.
Look at you.
I'm gonna text him on the and then barter with him and be like, hey man, look, we have never collabed before. We could do a preseason preview. I think that'd make a lot of sense, right? Preseason preview with Slightly. I'll see if I can make that happen. And then I think our first game is on the 20th or 21st.
And we got 4 preseason games, right? I think 22nd. I think is the first game.
I said we. I meant when is the Mavs first season?
Oh, come on, man! You can say we.
22nd. 22nd. Yeah. They play the 22nd.
Spurs.
Is the Spurs, and then what other game they got after that?
Wizards.
So they got 2 games that week. Okay, and then Friday. Okay, so we would have 2 games Friday. All right, so that's that Midnight Mavness on the 25th. You coming back?
All right, just let me know. I'll be around.
All right, we'll set that up, and then we could we could see we could talk about the Mavs either being 2-0, 1-1, 0-2. What do you think they're gonna be after San Antonio and Washington?
So I think we're gonna start off well. Like I said, we have a weak schedule to start, so we should beat the Spurs, we should beat the Wizards, we should beat the Raptors. The Thunder's the only one. I think we, like I said, once again, if we go in big against the Thunder, I think we could bully the Thunder. Because what I really want to do, I would love for us to bully Lou Dort. I can't stand that dude.
Yeah, I can't stand him.
I want to beat up Lou Dort, and oh man, that team is terrible. So yes, we can go in there. You want a fan jam?
Johnny B, you in town or something?
I can go to. I'll go to fan jam. I'll be there Monday, but I want to see fan jam. But so honestly, I think the Thunder is the only one that's iffy. The Pacers we should definitely win. The Pistons we should beat. Rockets maybe. Like I said, because I really think the Rockets are going to be iffy without Fred VanVleet. Because are they moving the starting point? Is that going to be Reed Shepherd now? They don't have, like I said, the obvious solution would have been for them to go get Russ, but they don't have enough money. They can't sign Russ to a vet minimum deal. They only got I think 1.2 million in cap space, so they can't sign him.
Let me put this up here for people to see. So I can see the.
We should beat the Pelicans, the Grizzlies, and we play the Wizards again. Man, we might lose 3 games at most before mid-November. If you look at those teams we playing,
put this right here. So you got San Antonio win. Who do you think we're losing to again? Out of all these,
if the ones that could be losses, I said maybe the Thunder.
Okay.
I don't really think the Rockets will be a loss, but I said we could say maybe the Rockets. And then, but like I said, if you look at everybody else, like I said, Spurs, Wizards, Raptors should all be wins. Pacers should be a win. Pistons should be a win. Pelicans should be a win. Grizzlies should be a win because remember, Edie's hurt.
And you got them going undefeated or what?
No, I'm saying at least. I think we might lose 2, but no, because okay. Do you think with no Zach Edey, with no Triple J, what does the Grizzlies have? You know what I mean? Who's their bigs that they're gonna put up against our bigs? The Wizards, like I said, we play them again. Then the Bucks got bigs, but they don't have point guards. The Suns, you know what I'm saying? They ain't got nobody. I mean,
I don't think the Mavs win opening night though.
I think so because
I think in San Antonio, I don't
because you're not
because against San Antonio, porque soy mexicano, como que no? I don't. They're not gonna have Gafford. They're not gonna be polished yet to be able to. I don't know. I'm just looking at Wemby being 30 year in the league. Going to be a problem. AD, there's no one on the team that could guard Wemby other than Lively. And can Lively guard him? That's the big question.
Lively's always guarded him well.
Yeah, but we talking third year Wemby. We're not.
And what
Sleeping
year is
on him.
Lively? Isn't it third year Lively?
He's still in his first year, bro. He hasn't even played enough games to be. Oh, you
Wemby,
played 2 seasons worth of games.
Wemby missed last year, half of last year with the blood clot, like the Jamaicans say.
Shut your blood clot mouth. Shut your blood clot mouth. You be talking up in here all crazy. No, but I think they should start the season pretty good, actually, barring any injuries, right? That's the only thing I can see them stopping.
I see
the
7.
Mavs.
I think 7-3. I think they could easily go 7-3, 8-2 to start. Because I also think aren't the first 5 games at home too?
Bro,
Yeah,
1, 2,
the
3,
first
4,
5 games at
5,
home.
6.
The first 5
First
games are at home.
6.
What are you
First
talking about?
6.
Spurs.
First.
No, the Pistons not at home. That's in Detroit.
Well, no, it says. Well, it's got an asterisk on it. I don't know why. Probably because it's in Mexico.
Okay.
Oh, game played at a neutral location. Yeah, so I guess they're
Okay.
considering that the Mavs home game.
But yeah, because it's the second team is the home game. So yeah, we're playing Spurs at home, Wizards at home, Raptors at home, Thunder at home, Pacers at home.
Misha said they're losing to the Pistons. Hey, the Pistons are gonna be good, bro. If you sleeping on the Pistons, that's crazy.
I'm not sleeping on the Pistons, but once again,
they're gonna be good.
The Pistons also lost 2 of their best shooters. They brought in Duncan Robinson, but
Wait, you're giving THJ the props now. You're giving him props now. That's what you're doing.
Gambling Malik Beasley.
You're giving him props now. I'm shook that you're giving THJ his props. That's
no,
crazy.
but I'm saying for that team, he was okay.
They said Lively 7-3 now?
Yeah, Lively grew.
I'm not gonna ask the question. No, it's pausey. It's a pausey question. I'm not gonna ask it.
And he had a baby. He got a daughter.
Play different, right? Johnny B says the Mavs are at home.
Gaff
first 5 games and Gaff will be back. Hopefully.
No, they said 2 to 3 weeks.
I see injuries in the first 10 games. Hate to say it, that happened last season.
That last season was an anomaly, though. That's the people get hung up on last season. They got PTSD. Last season, we lost. Didn't we lose like 400 man games last year, which was like the most ever for us? So like people act like that's normal. No, we don't have people start off everybody hurt, and we don't have everybody hurt at the same time.
Johnny B says the Mavs should be 8-2 at worst. And here's the thing. Here's the other caveat here. We go into every season, even when we had Luka, we would go into it like, we should be 8-2, 7-3, 10-0.
It's kids.
But you literally beat me to it. I was about to say the main issue with this is Jason Kidd. Is Jason Kidd going to set them up for success, or is he going to play his stupid shenanigans, not call timeouts, not make changes, not make halftime adjustments? Are you going to get that kid and be 5-5 to start? If you're 5-5, that's a big disappointment, ain't it?
So let me ask. I'm gonna ask you this about Jason Kidd, right?
Yeah.
They people always talk about, remember what Jason Kidd did with Giannis, and he's great at developing young talent. But what happened with Hardy? What happened with Omax? He likes to develop the players that he likes to develop, and he'll develop somebody. I think he's like Lively. He was forced to, but he did not have a choice to bench Lively.
Mm-hmm.
Because we already knew, like I think Nico said Lively was starting, and Luka wanted Lively at the start because Lively was Luka's kind of center. He liked the rim running, lob catching bigs.
I remember that night, and he started Dwight Powell opening night. I think Lively's rookie year. Yeah,
and that's the thing, and that's the problem. That's why once again I keep saying Dwight Powell has to get off this team. We need players that can play. That's why I wouldn't be mad if we signed Musa Cisse to the third 2-way contract. Not that I think he's an end-all be-all, but he's a big that can step in and play minutes. And I think I would rather see anybody play besides Dwight Powell. We know what Dwight Powell is. Dwight Powell is what he is.
Dwight Powell should have took that Rockets contract and call it a day.
Nope, and once again, is that another one that they need to look into? Why did he turn down $10 million for 2 years from the Rockets to take $5 million? No, he turned down $10 million for 1 year. $10 million 1 year.
Why wouldn't you take a 1 year deal for $10 million over 3 years, $9 million? Like,
yes, that's what I'm saying. Is that another one of those? Oh, I knew who I was going to bring up for them shady contracts. Was your favorite player of all time, Chandler Parsons?
Oh yeah, that was shady.
You know that was Mark's best friend. His
Mark
drinking
Cuban got
buddy.
him. Mark Cuban got him drunk and then made him sign. He roofied Chandler, man.
He used to hate, but they used to go drinking everywhere. Remember, he took Chandler all over the world. They was getting drunk at bars all over the world. I was like, what are y'all doing?
And no one complained about him drinking. No one.
Well, that's because that was Mark's best friend.
And
like Chandler was literally.
And Chandler was so unavailable, though. That was the problem.
But that's the thing, man. Like we talk about the brilliance of Mark Cuban, right?
Johnny B says the Mavs need to package Hardy, Powell, and Martin. That's $21 million. For what? What you gonna get out of that?
The problem is nobody. You're gonna have to give up all your first round picks to get somebody to take all that at this point because Kidd has refused to play Hardy. Hardy had value, and that's the thing. He had value until Kidd tanked his value by playing THJ over him all the time. We already know that.
Mm-hmm.
You know that, Johnny. Tim Hardaway shouldn't have been playing when Hardy was averaging 45% from three. At one point last year, he was the number one 3-point shooter in the league for like 2 months.
Mm.
And then Kidd would lose patience with him. Oh, look at him. Let me sit him down. And I'm like, dude, what are you doing?
Remember that? He said, I think the Mavs should go after Beasley. Isn't he
He's not being investigated anymore.
Also,
we don't have any money. We don't have a way to sign him.
Yeah, we don't.
We'd have to sign all those dudes for nothing.
Mistra says Lively gaining those quote unquote inches. He grew to be injury prone like Kristaps. He's already injury prone. He didn't grow. He's already injury prone. Hold on. Let me ask you, Big J. And I don't want people thinking I'm just up here talking crazy on Mavericks players, but I've been saying this even before the trade. I've always, if anything, the one thing I do have that defends me, if I've always said shit like this when I was a diehard Mavs fan, I've been saying Derek Lively is injury prone since his rookie season. Where do you stand on that? Do you think he's injury prone, or is it just, it's the early yips? What is it?
No. So here's my thing. And once again, it was highly unpopular. Your boy, what's his name? Slightly said this multiple times. He said the opposite thing, but I said that the player that you had to sign regardless, and you had to keep on this team under all circumstances, was Gafford.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, we were looking at having, because they were like, we could trade Gafford, and we can go get us a point guard. I'm like, trade PJ, and I kept saying trade PJ. I said, if you're gonna trade anybody, trade PJ. But I said because Cooper Flag and Najee are more important in that position than PJ. Because Cooper Flag and Najee can both handle the ball. PJ's struggle with handling the ball. I think both of them are decent defenders, and PJ was known to be a defender. But so my thing was, to me, PJ was the most tradable. Even though I love PJ, he was the obvious trade target. People were like, get rid of Gafford. And I'm like, dude, we struggled for 25 years in this team with no centers. And I said the only 2 years we had good center rotations, well, 3 years. The only 3 years we had good center rotations was 2006, 2011, and 2024. You know?
And here's the other thing though. Gafford, not only should you have signed him like they did, he is also Lively insurance. He is also Anthony Davis insurance.
Yep.
He is an insurance that is actually worth the price that you're paying for it, right?
And people still want to trade him.
And they still wanted to trade. Like, it blows my mind.
They want to trade him now. They're like, we got a tradable contract. Let's trade him. I'm like,
and you know what they said they wanted to trade him for? You never trade a big for a little point guard, and they were trying to trade Gafford for a freaking point guard. I said, y'all are pissing me off.
People talking about trading Gafford for Kobe White, and I'm like,
hell no.
So once again, but this is why I said it was crucial for us to keep Kai Jones to ensure that Dwight Powell never sees the floor. Because like I said, at some point, AD may get hurt, and like I said, PJ could take AD's spot or Cooper could play AD's spot. You know what I'm saying? I think the biggest problem is our center position. So my thing is, like I said, I think we'll see this year. This is his third year. If he gets hurt a bunch this year, then yeah, we need to consider him injury prone. And because like I said, it's been 2 years, and so but it's his third year. We'll know. This is basically the year to determine if he's injury prone. But I thought we should have. But that's what I'm saying. That's why I've been saying we should have kept him Gafford at all costs, because we have to have him there And like I said, we should have got Kai Jones because we would have had insurance that a dude could play 4 or 5, 25 years old.
That's what Johnny B said. He said you should have kept Kai over Exum.
Yeah. I would have kept Kai. Like I said, I would have tried to get rid of Dwight. I would have tried to talk to Dwight and say, look, man, we'll make you an assistant coach. Because people are like, well, he's good for vibes. I'm like, I don't care nothing about vibes. Vibes don't play.
Bro.
People, dude, that's what everybody tells me is, but
Johnny B will tell you only hear this vibes BS on Twitter, bro. And it only comes from the pages, the Mavs pages, right? I love them to death, but sometimes the homerism is a little too homey for me, right? Like,
dude,
like
even
honestly, Big J, I just look at the team now more like a business perspective. Like, all right, well, are they doing the right moves? Good. Do I want vibes? F no. Bring championships. At the end of the day.
That's what I said.
They created this new culture. And now I'm just like, I'm gonna hold you to it. I'm gonna hold you to that standard. You don't want vibes? You want championships? Let's go get them then. You know? Ronnie says, I keep hearing Gaffer for Herb Jones and Kobe White.
Why do we need another wing?
The Herb Jones factuation, I don't know where it comes from. Once you got flag, you do not need Herb Jones.
King loved Herb Jones. That's one of his favorite players. And I'm like, to me, like Herb Jones can't really shoot. He's a good defender, but like I said, we've got Najee.
Sticks loves Herb Jones, but I told Sticks like, Herb Jones would have made a lot of sense with Luka. By far, that would have made a lot of sense with Luka. Man, you could have ran a crazy lineup with that, but Herb Jones on this team right now just doesn't make sense. Where are you going to put him? Where are you going to put him?
That's what I'm saying. That's what people don't understand, man.
Buy out Gaffer so my Lakers can get him. That's funny. They're not going to buy him.
And I heard that's the other thing that gets on my nerves. Every time I cut on anything, all Lakers fans are like, the Mavericks re-signed Gaffer so they could trade him to the Lakers. I'm like, no. and then the packages that they was putting together, man, they were like, we'll give y'all Vando. And it was like Vando and somebody. It wasn't even what's his name? What's that dude's name? Connect. It was something like Vando and Connect, and they want us to give a first round pick back. Like, what?
Hey, I have to show you this. So Johnny B says, where's Sticks at? I sent this to Sticks
the other day.
I sent this to Sticks today. Hold on. He got so mad, bro. He got so mad. Because there's this guy.
Oh, it looks like Sticks?
Hold on. It's this guy that's reviewing colognes, right? And it looks just like Sticks. Hold on. And Sticks got upset. Oh, hold on. Let me turn this light off. Oh my God. Don't he like Sticks? It sounds like Sticks. Oh, my hand, I'm getting carpal tunnel.
Yeah.
He had the same mannerisms as Sticks and everything. I sent it to him. He got so upset. But where it Sticks, Johnny B, I don't know, man. He out and about, bro. Out and about, handling his business. But all right then, man. Appreciate you coming through, brother. Long time no talk. Hopefully we can set something up the first weekend of the new season, you know. Johnny B, I saw you wanted to be on the week after Mavs Jam, Fan Jam. Yeah, Big J just left. I think he just left. I think it was I see his camera still there. Let me go over here just in case. Well, anyway, Johnny B, I saw your post as far as wanting the hop on the show the Saturday at the Mavs Jam. I would say hop on the show. I got you. This guy already got guests for the next 2 weeks, bro. Well, I should have next week. The 25th, you and Big J. You and Big J on the show on the 25th of October. We'll set it up then. Anyway, man, appreciate everybody watching. Salute to Big J. I appreciate him being here and all that good stuff. Hopefully y'all enjoyed this conversation tonight, man. And So, oh, hold on. I think he's back. Where the hell you go?
Oh, my son was having an issue.
Mm-hmm. My bad. But yeah, October 25th, Big J will be back, and then hopefully Johnny B. He says, "Let me know I'll join." All right, sounds good. All right, everybody, appreciate y'all watching. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Big J, he needs to get on this whole. He needs to develop a YouTube. He needs to do a Twitter. He needs to do all this stuff so I can start tagging his stuff. You know, but
I got Twitter. I just don't hop on there.
And see, you want to be the.
Don't you messaged me on Twitter before?
Yeah, but I want you to make a Big J Mavs or something like you know all this stuff. I feel like your knowledge of the Mavericks and this sport should be followed in a grander scale versus being quiet about it. Like, bro, if you're doing Cuz We Geeked, you're here on Midnight Mavness, you're doing draft breakdowns for Marcel. You need to have your stuff too, man.
All right, I'll go and start a show, man.
Just because you cool with Donnie and all, like, nah, bro, you got all this stuff you could offer to the Mavs people. Like, this is why I do Midnight Madness. It's an offering to them. You could offer just as much or more. You could offer more, actually. Way more. Anyway, look at that. Facts. Put yourself out there. Big J will take Gafford when you hand him. Oh, we will take Gafford once you hand him over. Misha really trying to get.
I'm gonna go hang out with Gafford. That's what I need to do.
See, that's what I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen. He could do a freaking vlog with Gafford, and we don't get that content.
Well, look, when I go bowling with the G League team, I'll let you know if you want to come. You can come hang and bowl with us.
By the way, am I going with you to Monday, to the game on Monday, or what?
If you want to,
man. See, I don't even. You mentioned it, but you never followed up. I don't know what it looks like.
It looks like seats. I got seats.
If you got extra ones, let me know. I'd love to go, but if you don't,
I only got that. I probably only have one because I got to see. Marcel said he was gonna go, but then he's in Mississippi. He just texted me, so he's in Mississippi right now. So I think he's supposed to be back tomorrow, but I ain't sure.
Well, yeah, I'm pretty sure you talk to him first. So unless he bells, let me know.
Well, no, I'm saying I got two, but like I said, so like you couldn't bring people. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't have extra enough for guests.
Oh.
But we'll see. Like I said, just let me know.
You let me know. I'm in Grand Prairie, bro. It's a short drive now to Fort Worth. And I love that arena. I think the Fort Worth arena has better acoustics than the Mavericks or the American Airlines Center. I think the game is going to sound a lot better there. I think it's going to be dope, but we'll see. Looking forward to it. Anyway, appreciate everybody watching. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Whenever Big J decides to want to grow his social media, I'll tag that stuff. Hopefully by October 25th, he'll be more official then. Anyway, appreciate y'all watching. Been your boy TGK here with Big J. We out of here.
Yes, sir.